It's Rich Lex. What's up, guys? I want to do another reaction video. So you guys really enjoy these long reaction videos. And I feel like I have the gift of discernment. So I can kind of see a sneaky snake when I see one. So I just wanted to just review the video and give my commentary. So grab a snack and come on back. Well, folks, Brooke and Tana are back on the Cancel podcast. And she's going to be explaining a lot of things. And a lot of people are interested in this. So let's dissect this and go through it together. Here we go.
When he's holding me accountable,
Honestly, this is Brooke lip syncing for her life. Right, here we go.
know how horrible it was. You know what I mean? And I knew how horrible it was even before it, blew up in my face. But I mean, obviously, it's like a just shitty situation, and I felt bad that so many people were hurt by it. But also, I needed to be held accountable. And
obviously, how do I say this? Well, I guess what I'm wanting to say.
This is where Tana oftentimes puts her foot in her mouth because she really doesn't need to say anything. She's just like, well, I'm happy you feel that way, and I agree. That's all she had to really say. But now she's inserting herself more, and that's a beautiful view, actually, it is.
I'm fucking proud of you. I think that you, stood at the forefront of all of this, and you are willing to continue to, and you understand that there will be a lot of people that won't forgive you, but you also will never stop trying, and
yeah,
I appreciate that.
I did. I spoke about it a little bit on TikTok, but there is honestly a typical PR formula, obviously, for this kind of situation.
Oh, really?
I think this is being a more human.
I did feel really remorseful, and it sucks that I put out my first apology and it was so hyper emotional, and I pretty much said all the wrong things, you know what I mean? But it was that was truly my natural reaction, and everything that has come in after that is just how it's really happened for me. But I don't know, it didn't make sense for me to just ignore. I couldn't have ignored it because it was I feel so much shame over that already, and I have felt shame over that, and these tweets aren't something that's new to me. I've known about them, you know what I mean? So it made me feel just horrible, and I wanted to make sure that people knew. And of course I know how much I've changed and how much my thought processes have changed since I've grown up and got away from Arizona and my family and stuff, and I can't expect everybody else to know that. But
I said this on the podcast with Paige, but I went to your apartment a couple weeks ago, and there was a stack of books up to the size of my head on you continuing to want to do research, and I'm seeing all of the active things you're doing behind the scenes, so I know that. And like I said,
it's unfortunate. I'm not gonna defend Brooke. She did what she did. She owned up to it. But at the same time, if I can just be honest here, I think that, just my opinion, if Tana is going to go out on a limb like this and talk about and defend and excuse and, not really excuse, I want to take that back, but still stand by her friend and chime in, then I'm thinking well, you should have that same energy for James Charles. Because here we go again, Tana Mongeau is friends with all these problematic people, and she kind of leans one way with this person, but then this other person gets the slide, and I can't help but to feel Tana is just literally stuck between a rock and a hard place. Tana Mongeau is damned if she do and damned if she don't. And also the same thing for Brooke. No apology will ever be good enough. No donations will ever be good enough. You just have to show the people you've changed with your actions and move forward. Here we go.
In the last episode, the Brooke that I have known is not that person, but acknowledging that there's always more growth to be done is beautiful. And
I think sometimes too, there's a lot of shame sometimes, to be ignorant. Sometimes people don't want to ask questions and stuff because they feel it's oh, you're too old to not know this. But obviously.
But not only that, let's talk about body language. He's wearing a hat, slick back in a ponytail, gold jewelry. Her boobs are out. She has a nice tank top. This is very much I'm gonna go to Irwan real quick. What do you want? I think she should have came on with a gray hoodie. I kind of like to show her face more. She seems like she's I want to say, like, because of the hat, she looks like she's ashamed, but then her body says something different. I don't think this is the right outfit for this video, though. Just saying, just my opinion. Who am I?
Like, there, you know, I was a Republican or whatever. Like, I didn't know anything about politics until I was, like, an adult. You know what I mean? I didn't know anything about what I was talking about, but I wanted people to think I knew what I was talking about.
Me every day.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, it comes down like to what, like a common theme on Canceled anyway. It's just like my need for validation and attention and people to think I'm.
It's such a dichotomy with, like, what she's saying, and then, like, the show is called Canceled. So it's like, girl, everyone is canceled on this podcast, you know. So it's just you kind of earn your mark, I guess.
You know what I mean? So,
I'm
like,
canceled. The house.
That was like kind of what it all stemmed from, and like
Everybody canceled.
I can just now start doing the work. You know what I mean? I've learned so much, like, in the time, especially since I've been in LA. Because obviously, like, I'm ashamed that it took me that long, and like I was like an adult when I really started to like open my or understand everybody's different perspectives. But I did, and so, you know, that's just the honest truth.
Well, listen.
Here we go.
Again, I feel like I have said all of this, but
Here we go.
I will always love you, and I think that everything I've seen off camera, I think that you are taking the proper steps and not trying to just flaunt it for TikTok and the
Well, that's the
podcast
thing.
as well, which I really respect. And I'm excited to have you back on this couch. And I think had we done it when I sat down with Paige, that would have been a whole different Armageddon. And I also just have a lot to say about the hate towards Paige and women in general on the internet right now in a second, and my thoughts on that and some things that I
Well, my thoughts on that is that I feel like social media likes to pin two women against each other. Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, you know what I'm saying? You name it. Barbara Streisand, Celine Dion. Like, it's just, they like to build people up and tear them down. And when it comes to women on social media, they tend to do that. And Tana knows, they build her up, tear her down. They're just very, like, mean toward women on social media.
I've learned in the past couple weeks that I don't necessarily think I was thinking about before all of this, but I'm just happy to have you back on this couch, and
I'm happy to be back, and I just want to.
I'm happy she's okay.
There's no, I said this on TikTok also, but like, there's no definitive end. Like, there's no like time when you just know everything that you know. So obviously, there's things like I'm going to continue learning down the line, and I have learned, and you know what I mean. It's like there's always going to be more, and I, of course, am doing it. And again, like you said, I don't want it to seem like I'm doing it because I got caught or because I got canceled. Like,
Yeah.
I really truly like I had like so many people who were so helpful to me and like explained their experience.
I don't think she needs to be that nervous, though, because, like, you know, what she's been through, a lot of people have been through. And look at them now. They're doing just fine. You know, I think she's just showing that she cares.
It's like from their end and stuff, and it was eye-opening. It was like, it was special, and I don't know, I do feel like there's a lot that I've learned from this situation, and it makes me think very, very differently.
And we truly master not feeling much about what people who don't know you have to say about you. And you and I were talking about that. You were like, I feel like you've had 8 months of this really heavy microscope on you now, like maybe a year. And I'm like, I had to do that 8 times and still this last round, this cancellation right here, this round on TikTok still got to me. Like, we're still, like, you're a human being at the end of the day, and it's very hard to read that much about yourself. But at the same time, like, I personally know that I have people around me who love me for me and know me for me and have for 10 years, as do you. And that's all that matters to me.
I don't want to pretend that didn't happen. I did, you know what I mean? Like, I did say those things. I did grow up that way. Like, and I'm glad we're out of there. You know what I mean? I'm glad I'm past it. And
Well,
I miss
maybe,
you. I'm happy to be back on the couch. I don't want anybody to.
Look, it's already getting dark. They've been talking for that long. I'm glad I have the clip. Shout out to Spill Some Tea with me, because we got the clip on it that just kind of like sped everything up like very, very quickly. Here we go.
That I'm just pretending nothing happened. I will take accountability as long as I need to take accountability, and that is honestly forever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never going to pretend that didn't happen. I appreciate, I really, like, and it sounds stupid, but I do really appreciate everybody who's held me accountable, because it, like, there's something just, there's, like, I learned a lot from that alone. You know what I mean? Just, like, people sharing, like, why it was so wrong and stuff. Like, even though I already have felt shame about it, it, like, reinforced it, and it, like, you know, I really, I feel like I understand better now.
Like I said,
I think at this point they're just talking in circles.
It's not just an overnight thing. It is a lifelong thing. And
Yes.
you are acknowledging that, showing up to the forefront, sitting back here and ready to continue to show your character, your current true character. And that can be appreciated.
Yeah, and it's not,
no one's getting canceled off of the canceled podcast.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Yeah, and we love you.
So she just basically explained that Brooke will continue to be on the show. She's not canceled, and they're going to continue. And I think that the intro was very drawn out. I think a lot of people were waiting for her to come back on. But I think Brooke, in my opinion, is showing that she's very remorseful. And I think that I'm happy she came back. And Tana is welcoming her back with open arms. You know, and it you know, then people are looking at Tana like, are you going to disavow your friend? Are you going to kick her off the show? And she says she's not. So here we go.
She said, God damn it, rats, I'll try again next week.
I love you guys. I'm true. Like, I genuinely am so sorry to everybody who, like, was affected. Obviously, like, specifically, like, the tweets were targeted towards, like, Black people. And obviously we have a lot of Black girls who listen to Canceled, and I feel, like, really, like, sick over the fact that they think that that's my character. So I just hope moving forward, like, you can see that's not who I am. And
there you go.
I'll try to prove it forever.
So she said, I'll try to prove it forever. Oftentimes let me turn my mic off, I was just playing with it. Oftentimes when you go through something like that, there are two ways to think about it. And one of them is, I'm going to forever apologize for this every time it gets brought back up. Or the other way to think about it is, and when it gets brought, back up, to be like, I already apologized. Go watch my video over here. You know what I'm saying? So I want to pass the question on to you folks. Do you think that Brooke should, every time it gets brought back up, apologize for it? Or if it gets brought back up, be like, I already apologized for it. Go watch this video over here I made a year ago, 2 years ago. You know, like that. Do you think that's the best way to do that? I'm really interested in what you guys have to say about that. So we have another clip. Here we go. Let me load it up. All right. Loading up my clips, like all my receipts. Ethan Klein, Trisha Paytas, Ethan Klein, Jeffree Star. Oh my God. Okay. Here we go.
The amount of shit, like, Brooke, I opened my DMs one day and there were like 100 DMs that were like, you kicked Brooke off the podcast, that's why you're fatter than she is.
Oh!
Like, I'm going through my fucking For You page and it's like, well, now that everyone's hating on Brooke, we can say we hate slick back buns. And it looks like, and it's like, this is not what the conversation is about. And this would never fucking happen if we were two men. And like, even just saying all this shit with
well,
the, like,
she said, yes,
right?
right there. Again, if there were two men. Women on social media do get more of the blunt of negativity. I can agree with that.
On TikTok, it's like, once a proper take on someone's wrongdoing has gone viral, or 10 proper takes,
it invites everybody to do just whatever they want.
And it opens these doors for so much hate that
once Rich Lux makes his video,
no longer has anything to do with what the real conversation was about. And it's so many people like bandwagoning shit just to bandwagon shit. And it's like, I've never had disdain for it. I think I've been a part of that problem.
Me
up
too.
until right now.
So that's what I was just going to say. I was like, because I experienced it.
Yeah, no. Tana has been a part of the problem, as have I, and so many of you guys, by watching, engaging, commenting, egging things on, doing the most that way.
Series, because obviously, I do a 14-part series. It gets like 200 million views, and now there's tens of thousands of videos about how he's hideous and he has shark teeth, or like whatever it is. But it's like, it's horrible, because it's like that wasn't the point and that wasn't the problem. And
even
as much
with, like,
as
the Alyssa shit, like,
Here we go. The fact that she brought up Alyssa Violet is huge. Alyssa Violet and this drama, I think I've heard people say bring her on the show. things like that. Like, here we go. I'm excited to hear what she says.
I still stand by those beliefs. Once everyone else has had, there's been a viral take or 10 about it, like, there's just a point where I'm just like, even with like the Blake Lively shit, it's like Blake Lively's obviously wrong as fuck. Like,
Okay.
I like your bump. That shit made me need a bump. Like, that was so fucking awful. Sorry,
Oh my
bad
God.
cocaine joke. Kidding. Not on cocaine.
Wait, I didn't get it at first. Did you see him? Wait.
Little bump here, little bump
It was
there.
just a joke. But like, it's like, actually, Blake is either going to see these takes or not, and like, just the way society isn't moving on with like hate to women as of late.
I know, but I
It's
also
like-
don't want to make it like we are the victims because, well, especially in
I
this
don't mean
episode.
us.
I know, but I'm just to be clear.
Yeah.
I know that I am not the victim in this situation.
I'm not saying that. I'm really not saying that. I think I just,
But it is, things happen differently for men than they do for women.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
don't want to be a part of a bigger problem.
Well,
Obviously,
And I think that she said, I don't want to play the victim. I think because she got a lot of people in the comment section saying she's going to play the victim and woe is her, which, understandable. But it's like she's been reading comments and she knows, hey, this is not about me. This is the bigger picture. So good for her.
Been a part of bigger problems, so that's a conversation to have. We were being the accountability police
yeah.
for, like, we were just really going high and mighty, just canceling people left and right.
Two wrongs don't make a right. Like, I do still think all of those things are true. In the episode with Paige, I essentially said, like, this podcast reaches so many people to the point that I do want to recognize that and use it for better.
Yeah.
And people took that and ran, like, no, we just want to hear about your lives. Like, don't become some woke podcast, some this, some that. That's not what I'm saying. I just think there's
They don't want to hear that from us, but it is like we have like a cool opportunity because like we reach so many girls. Like, I mean, obviously more than just girls, but like
young girls, gays and theys, young
and
people,
if,
and it's
with
like
that level of influence, like we should be trying to at least like do something right
better. And I think there's-
not be bullies.
I think it's like expressing.
No, but see, they say that, but people love to watch Tana go off and call out people and do hot topics similar to the way that Trisha Paytas did on Frenemies. People love them for that. So to come on now and be like, and we're sanctified and we're baptized and we're never gonna speak negatively and about people and bully people, then that's like boring the house. This is YouTube. People want Tana to give her solicited, unsolicited opinions about people, whether it's in a good light or bad light. So people want to watch. They want to watch them be shady. I'm sorry. They want to watch Tana be shady. People are tuning in for that. They want to watch Tana go to Erewhon, try the latest smoothie, complain about it, and then come home, talk about somebody she saw on the internet, complain about it, and then give a few compliments here or there. I mean, that's the truth all day long, in my opinion.
That happened to you or commenting on some wrongdoing, okay, but I think that in my opinion, we definitely teetered over the line, especially with the like Alyssa and Clinton shit.
Oh.
And I want to dial it back a bit. And that was kind of my point in the Paige episode, and people took it as like, this is going to be the new CNN, and obviously
Yeah, boring the house. I tuned out at that point. I want to see Trisha say, Alyssa Violet's busted the house. She'll never be glamour. Something, you know what I'm saying? And just be fun and shady about it. The thing is, I don't think Tana has like a gig. You know, like when Tana is being shady, people take her seriously. I don't know. That's my opinion.
It does bother me, like, and I, like, who is it, Brett Newstrom? He honestly had a good take about it. It's like these girls just bully, and it's like I don't feel like anyone who actually watches Canceled, I don't think that that's what they would take from it because like it really hasn't.
Okay, here we
been-
go.
it's just
I watch Canceled. I don't think they bully. I think they're just shady and funny, poking fun at the bear.
It's
feel
not like
like
we
the
just
viral
get on
clip.
here. That's not the concept of the Cancel podcast. We don't just get on here and cancel people. Yes, it has happened a couple times lately, and they've been big ones. Okay, but that's not. It's never been the nature of our show, and it's not going to be in the future. We're
You
not.
know,
like,
okay.
I don't think we're like just
The Cancel podcast literally needs to have Shane Dawson on there, Jason Nash on there, Trisha Paytas on here again, Rich Lux, You know what I'm saying? Everybody, y'all need to tell Cancel Podcast put Rich Lux on the show. Seriously. Go attack. I don't ever tell y'all to attack. But I'm going to tell y'all. Attack. Go tell them put Rich Lux on the show on Cancel Podcast. Thank you.
Girls. But to your point, if someone does me like really fucking dirty or does me wrong, I'm going to talk about like I have a microphone in front of me once a week.
I just think that there's like,
Yep.
I know my character. I know I'm not a fucking mean girl to anyone that I ever come across in my life ever.
All right. I've met Tana about 2 or 3 times in person. She's always just been super nice, a little bit drunk, but super nice. She was just like that party girl, you know, that it girl. She reminds me of like that girl who lives in Manhattan, New York, and she's getting ready to go out and have a good time and is gonna just go to the club, get in for free, end up in somebody's VIP section popping bottles, and go to somebody's penthouse after party and just see all the drama go down and then go home whenever she goes home and then be like, girl, let me tell you what happened last night. You're not going to believe it. I thought this person was so innocent, but let me tell you, Tana knows all the tea. The world is Tana's oyster at this point. She can do whatever she wants, how she wants it. And that's the thing. This is why Tana Mongeau has lived so long. Is that she has navigated these waters, okay? Like purposely going into toxic waters and coming out of them. And being like, let me tell you what happened. This is what people live for. Here we go.
I can see how trying to be the cancellation police could be misconstrued as that. And it's not that I'm changing the entire format of this show, but I'm definitely going to dial it back and use it for a little more good and like be more mindful of lobbying hate.
I just also think like we have more potential than that. Like I don't think we have to like
rely on that.
Yeah, come for people to have an entertaining show, and I think that like that's something that we've learned. And also,
or
like
maybe we do, and they can say it sucks, and we can go fuck ourselves.
We are not promising that we're never going to do that again, because if somebody really does me dirty, I am coming on here and I am doing exactly what I've done to others. But
I think I'm just
not like that serious though.
Yeah, not that serious.
There's something to be said about weaponizing our audience too. We have millions and millions of people who listen, and it is like it's not the same as like talking shit with your friends. You know what I mean? It's not. Sometimes it feels that way, and that's how we get ourselves in this trouble. But like it does, I truly did feel bad about like the amount of hate that Alyssa Violet got. I actually like.
Oh wow!
I feel bad to her because it's like.
Again, once she sees the viral take, you can either choose to grow and learn from it or not.
Is she gonna apologize? Have her on the show? Okay. Very interesting.
Like, there's no point in just, that's the same exact way I feel about the, like, obviously she's wrong.
No, I don't think we're supposed to say gin.
Oh.
But.
Ken, you're excited?
Well, I think Grace O'Malley said gin is, like, offensive.
Rats.
There you go. Canceled the house.
She's a redhead.
It's just, like, again, she obviously sees all of the, like, takes. And she can either learn from that and her wrongs. Like, I don't want to keep being a part of the problem of seeing, like, beating shit into the ground that's just hating on women when I'm, like, all for not doing that.
Yeah.
Like, there's just...
like, we have to take accountability. Like,
I don't think that Trisha goes... I mean, Trisha... I don't think that Tana goes in that hard.
One of the most valuable lessons I've learned recently that I just want to be a little more careful with.
Yeah, and to be honest, I feel like I got like a little bit too confident there for a second. You know, I feel like I was kind of
that right there was everything. For her to say, hey, you know what? Let me take a couple steps back. That was interesting.
Like, I mean, you know what I talk about all the time, like validation as currency, and like when I put out that Clinton series and it was like such a massive amount of support and validation and attention, I got like, you know, my head got big, and all of a sudden I felt like I could just fucking, you know, I could talk shit about Alyssa. I could do this. I can do this, and like I just got like this confidence that I didn't have before, and I needed to reel it back a bit.
Well,
that's awesome.
I needed a humbling, and I got one.
That's the internet telltale story as big as time. When the pendulum swings so far that way, it almost always swings back the other way.
Yeah.
And that's why I've always said you can't place your validation in too much of the good or too much of the bad. And
I know.
Not only that, but people are very fickle. One minute they love you, the next they don't. The pendulum always swings.
It's just
It's
something
it's
I've
so much
struggled
easier
with
said than
always.
done.
It's like it's something like I really am actively like working to reframe in my mind, but it's always been the theme of my life. Like attention and validation is the only thing I do anything for, and that's so embarrassing to say out loud, but it's the truth, and that's how I've gotten myself into this situation. That's how I've gotten myself. You know what I mean? Like every problem I've caused for myself has been
stem from that.
because of that, and I want so badly to just place value in like things that matter.
And I mean, I'm happy you're recognizing that. And I believe you
Oh my
will
God.
put in the work on that, my sweet Carrie Bradshaw.
I know.
It's getting, I hope the podcast doesn't die out and get boring. And for those asking about the Ethan and Moses drama, I already made 3 YouTube videos about it, over 40 minutes each. Go ahead and check it out on my YouTube channel. So here's this last clip that we got here. This one I find very interesting as well. And let me go ahead and just pop it open for you. Here we go.
The rumors. I am not yet kicked off the canceled podcast.
Dude, so first of all, I was just in Europe, and a couple days ago, I shot an episode with Paige and Amari, and I said everything that I'm about.
Yeah, whatever happened to Amari? I don't really see him around that much. Her friend, her bestie.
To say again, but then obviously I flew home, and I was like, why am I gonna put out another episode that's just gonna like fuel these rumors more and like get a
Yeah.
bunch more hate?
People
And like,
think we're really beefing.
I mean, obviously that just comes with this whole thing, you know, that
Yeah.
people think a bunch of that's untrue.
Again, wanting to pin 2 women against each other.
This is definitely one of the heights of that in my entire life. Like just opening my whole phone and every single thing I read about me, you, and us in this podcast just being like the furthest possible thing from the truth. And I can like re-say all of that. I mean, I was gonna just post that episode, but I felt like talking about it with Paige was kind of like gonna cause the same problem as it did last
Yeah,
week.
we've had a little bit of issues with Paige. I'm like Paige is getting really badly bullied.
It's really frustrating to me because it's like, I thought in the previous episode that I made what I was saying abundantly clear, but
That often happens sometimes. You know, she thought she was being perfectly clear, and then things get misconstrued, and videos are made, and boom, 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 and contradictions. And you can't let it knock you off your horse. Just stay steady. I think that this is great that they're back on the show together. I just, in my opinion, wish it was like, let's touch upon it real shortly and let's move on. But they're really going in. I just hope they don't veer off the rails and it become like a CNN. And I just miss them shooting the breeze and talking ish about it and just being shady. I missed that part. I hope they stay to that.
not to go like all third person narcissist on you. When has Tana Mongeau ever said anything and made it abundantly clear and didn't get misconstrued and people completely understood her point and yada yada? Like
I fear I make some bad points sometimes too.
hey. But all I was trying to say in that episode was I'm giving Brooke the week. Like I want Brooke to have the week. Obviously. So then Paige subbed in for that episode and all of the fucking comments are, we want Brooke, you're replacing Brooke, you just jumped ship so fast, yada yada yada. And it was literally just one episode.
Yeah, I could see how. But then again, I think that like Tana maybe could have made it a more clear to really like for the people in the cheap seats in the back can understand. But that's just me.
Wait, and I also want to be clear. It wasn't because the way it sounded was almost like Brooke needs a second, or needs a week. Like I just wanted to really intake the situation and understand what was happening, and it just didn't feel appropriate for me to sit down on the couch so soon.
I said this in the episode that we shot, and I'll probably keep referencing that, but I'm just reiterating how I've been feeling. And call me the fucking villain for saying this, okay? People might not like.
Okay, I'm really excited to know what she's about to say right now. For her to say, call me the villain, this is going to be good. You guys, you've made it this far in the video. drop a heart emoji in the chat. Here we go.
what I'm going to say right now. But I think that the situation was very much damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Oh my God,
Like
I
if
just
you and I
said that.
sat down and filmed an episode and it went out and we were just on the couch talking about anything at all.
Yeah, I think it would
people
have been really distasteful.
So angry at that. So then it's like you film with Paige and people are mad. Like it was just one of those where I felt like it's like,
Yeah, and we should clarify
There was no
beforehand.
way.
Like Tana and I, obviously, we were communicating about it, and I told her, I'm like, listen, I understand. You need to say that what I said was wrong, of course, because it was so wrong.
and I even said in it, like I'm not coming at this from a holier than thou perspective.
Yeah.
Like I just want to say no one's getting fucking canceled off the canceled podcast. And I
There you
have
go.
said this and will always say this. I truly believe that this podcast has amassed the success that it amassed because of our dynamic.
No, that too, but also because y'all are a little shady. And y'all would, attack and cancel people, and people love that. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, but people love that. And I think if you veer away from that, people will be like, oh, man, whatever.
And forgive me, it's not a word police, but our dynamic is irrecreatable. And I am not a word. And I'm
But there is a word for that, so we got to find it.
and we could, but I just think it's irrecreatable.
I think it's irreplaceable. Wait,
Yes, but like it couldn't be recreated with any other two people.
okay.
And I'm so well aware of how special that is and what you and I have been through together. On and off camera, on and off stage, just in life.
But see, this is huge because if they were to stop the podcast, potentially they're losing a lot of brand deals, but also like getting picked up by publications such as like iHeartRadio or Sirius XM Radio that would give them like $1 million deals to have the podcast there. So this is really bad, but they're turning it around and trying to make it good so that potentially they could salvage the podcast and continue. At the end of the day, the views don't lie. They would have to continue to get the same amount of views. So I hope this doesn't drop their viewership.
General, I think most people would fucking blow up in flames. And I think we have somehow come out of it with the strongest trauma bond, sister bond money can buy. And I wish so badly that people didn't do what they do to our relationship online because it is very highly damaging
It's hard
to
it's
read a
kind of-
million things that aren't true about how like the you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
It's weird it's so strange because you almost start to intake it and it like starts to become true because it's like if I'm reading 1,000 comments that say like Tana hates Brooke, all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, Tana hates Brooke.
yeah, and it's like it's just
It's not.
there
It's
you
just
go.
it's not natural.
The next podcast is a thumbnail of Tana and just says, I really hate Brooke. Let's talk about it. And then get on there and just like shoot the breeze about, these are your red flags. What are my red flags? And just have a fun time with it.
This isn't something that like most
yeah, it's not that I'm
people
bitching
go
about
through.
it because it comes with fame, it comes with money, it comes with this shit. I understand that,
Yeah.
but I can also recognize that sometimes that is emotionally incredibly difficult to handle.
There you go. It is. And I think that in some weird way, I will say this, in some weird way, I think that this is Tana growing as a person and we're seeing it right in front of our eyes. That's my opinion. So let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. This is Rich Lux with the hottest celebrity news on YouTube. See you guys in the next one.